Because I knew you. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
Wicked for Good looks incredible, it has wonderful performances from a committed cast, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are as magnetic as ever, but there's not enough story here to justify a film of this length. It's half an hour shorter than the first movie, but it feels an hour longer. The first part fit neatly into the structure of a feature film. It even had its own built-in climax that was much more rousing than the actual climax of the story here. But the second part is basically the third act of the story dragged out for the same length as the first and second acts combined. The first movie was a beautiful story about friendship with some social commentary about animal cruelty and authoritarianism in the background. This one is a really on-the-nose fantasy allegory for animal cruelty and authoritarianism with some stuff about friendship in the background. It flips the dramatic priorities, and not for the better. Suffice to say, I won't be holding space for this one.
This week, people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that.
I didn't know that that was happening.
I've seen it, yeah.
That's really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This video contains minor spoilers for Wicked for Good. Full disclosure, I've never seen the musical. My relationship with Wicked begins and ends with these movies. I know that's not the case for everyone. I know some people have a parasocial relationship with Glinde and Elphaba and will therefore be much more invested than I am and have much stronger feelings than I do. Having said that, I was surprised how much I liked the first film. I only watched it to do my due diligence before the Oscars, but I ended up having a really good time with it. I got swept up in the music, the visuals, and this central relationship, so I was actually looking forward to seeing the conclusion of the story in Wicked for Good. But honestly, I'm pretty disappointed. This isn't like Dune Part 2, where the second part is bigger and better than the first one. It's more like The Hobbit, where it's stretched out for so long that you get the sense this could have been done in one movie. It has more endings than Return of the King. The first film was expertly paced by director John M. Chu, but the pacing feels off here. The approach that made the first film work so well was to take the time between the songs to round out the drama, but the second film rushes the drama to cram in as many songs as possible. There's plenty of time for an interminable, extra-long version of Wonderful, but hardly any time for Glinde to process Fiyero leaving her for Elphaba, or even for Fiyero to make that decision. The film races through Elphaba's revolution against the wizard, her rewritten messages in the clouds, her underground railroad for animals, and it races through the plot points of The Wizard of Oz in the background.
Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West.
The cast continue to delight. Jeff Goldblum gets to indulge in all his wonderfully eccentric Goldbluminess as the wizard. Coleman Domingo acts circles around Burt Law with a single impassioned monologue as the Cowardly Lion. And that Jonathan Bailey is one charming motherfucker. And of course, the stars of the show are Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
It feels like they were born to play these roles. They are Elphaba and Glinde, and they're so perfectly matched with such electric on-screen chemistry that it's a shame they have to spend most of this second film apart.
Because I knew you.
You're the only friend I ever had.
Because I knew you. And I've had so many friends. I have been changed for good.
The songs get the spotlight in Wicked for Good, but they're not as catchy or clever or emotionally resonant as the songs in part 1. There's no Popular, there's no What Is This Feeling, and there's definitely no Defying Gravity. Much like in Rocky Horror, all the best songs in Wicked are in the first half. The whole soundtrack of part 2 is B-sides, except For Good itself, and even that gets beaten into the ground with multiple reprisals. It's like if the second half of Rocky Horror got an entire dedicated movie of its own. There's a moment in Wicked for Good where Glinde repeats the "Together We're Unlimited" line from Defying Gravity. But it feels ironic because this movie feels really limited. It's restrained by a very bare bones plot, desperately dragging out 3 or 4 major story beats to feature length, and it's beholden to the events of The Wizard of Oz. If anything, Wicked did too good of a job of making Elphaba the hero. She's not even morally grey, she's completely in the right, but The Wizard of Oz necessitates her to be Dorothy's arch nemesis. It doesn't feel congruous at all. It turns the entire story of The Wizard of Oz into a series of Fawlty Towers-esque misunderstandings.
Yeah, nothing. I didn't know she was in here. I just came in to check the walls. Do you mind? Sorry.
Bear in mind, this is just the opinion of some noob who rolled in off the street with no knowledge of Wicked, sat through a couple of movies and started running his mouth on the internet. The screening I was in was almost sold out, despite it being 11 o'clock in the morning on a weekday, filled with Wicked superfans who knew every single word of the songs. And people walked out in tears, so it clearly worked for them. It just didn't really work for me, and it's a shame because I loved the first one.
To those who drowned me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I'm defying gravity. I'm a flying high, defying gravity.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.